Qantas is urgently paging passenger Mr. Jeffrey Sampson. Your flight is in the final stages of boarding and is ready for departure.
Good morning. I'm in the car early this morning to head off from Brisbane International Airport down to Canberra. I'm just on a day trip today. I'll be flying two different aircraft though, and they're both in the QantasLink fleet. The second will be in the second video. I'll be flying today on the Bombardier Q400 with QantasLink, the all-economy aircraft. And if you're looking to see the Boeing 717-200 business class, I'll be flying back tonight in their little business class. So check out my other video if you're interested in that one. Otherwise, thanks for watching today and enjoy this trip report down to Canberra and back. The Qantas domestic check-in area seems to be always a lot more tranquil compared to the Tiger, Jetstar and Virgin ends of the terminal. My initial flight today was scheduled at 8 AM for departure, QF 2565 to Canberra. And my assigned gate was not the regular gates 1 to 3 for the QantasLink turboprop aircraft, instead being allocated the area alongside the pier around gate 5 and gate 6. But first up for me it was up the Travelator and into the Qantas Lounge precinct, where today I am trying out the Brisbane domestic Qantas Club. It's inside the Qantas Lounge precinct and it is recently renovated throughout 2017 and 18. Quite a nice space. It's very open, relatively spacious with lots of natural light coming from the windows on the car park side of the domestic terminal, but also from the central atrium in the Qantas Lounge precinct as well. This Qantas Club has a variety of beverage options in the morning, including fresh barista made coffee as well as cold drinks and soft drinks. And of course, a morning visit to the Qantas Club, or any visit for that matter, is not complete without a fresh toasted sandwich. My favourite is tomato, ham and cheese on bread. If that doesn't pique your interest, then there's a few other breakfast options as well, including fruit salad, yogurt, as well as other mueslis and cereals, as well as other condiments for your toast. Basically anywhere you sit in this lounge you'll be close to power access, which is really handy. I also like to check out the bathrooms and the other amenities in the lounge, and of course the recently upgraded facilities don't disappoint. There's also a selection of reading materials including today's papers as well as some magazines. The Qantas Lounge precinct here in Brisbane domestic is actually amazing. The Qantas Club this morning has been very quiet. It's so spacious, there's lots of natural light, and the beautiful wooden decor and ample seating area really makes it a nice place to spend before your flight. It's really good, but it's not as good as the business class lounges, which I think is actually a good part. It gives it a bit of distinction and really makes it a special experience when you are flying business class compared to just a regular flight and using the Qantas Club. The back area, being further away from the entrance, is naturally more quiet and secluded, which makes for a nice space if you're trying to get some peace and quiet or get some work done as well. I've actually been caught out before with boarding calls in the Qantas Club in Brisbane in the past, so I regularly check the departures board to make sure I know when to start my walk to the gate. But as always, I like to watch the planes coming in and out of the airport and decided to leave a little bit earlier and see just that. Saturday isn't the most active time for movements at Brisbane Airport, but it's still a delight to see the various shapes and sizes of aircraft and the different colour liveries as well. Out with the old, in with the new, apparently, with this Jetway logo for Qantas. A couple of Rex Saab aircraft and the Jetstar 787-8 on its way to Bali. I am departing from gate 5 for this flight down to Canberra today. It's a short walk down the stairs from the satellite terminal pier walkway, and once down on the ground level it's just a short walk outside of the gate after your boarding pass is scanned across the airside roadway and straight up the ramp into our beautifully recently repainted Bombardier Dash 8 Q400 in the new QantasLink livery. Naturally, after boarding, I decided to make myself comfortable and even began to check out the seat and the seat features of the aircraft. But I was interrupted by the crew to announce that there was an issue with the aircraft, which meant that it was non-serviceable and would require a replacement aircraft. Not news that you expect to hear after the boarding process has been all but completed. So it was off the aircraft and back into the terminal before we waited for our reassigned aircraft down to Canberra. About 60 minutes later, a new announcement was made and we were quickly hurried off to a bus to take us to an even more remote stand in the regional aircraft departures area for QantasLink, and our new aircraft awaited us. Once again, it was a newly painted Dash 8 Q400 in the new QantasLink livery. And after a quick reboarding, we were on our way once again. Despite being a small plane, the legroom is actually really good in this all-economy layout, and you're only ever next to one partner, seat partner, which is very handy. Unfortunately, I was flying this week and had the sad news of the end of the Airbus A380 program worldwide, which was quite sad on this flight with this person reading it in the newspaper. I also saw a Qantas A380, which is a rare sight in Brisbane. Must have been diverted on its way to Sydney or Melbourne. So once in the air, the seat is pretty basic. You get a standard tray table which flips down in front of you, and being a morning flight, breakfast is served, which today included a cup of coffee with milk, a bottle of water, and some authentic Greek yogurt and a muesli bar. All were simple and quite tasty, and I wasn't feeling particularly hungry after my toasted sandwich in the lounge, but they still went down a treat. One thing that I definitely noted flying on the Bombardier Q400 is that it is a lot slower to fly to Canberra on this aircraft. The view's nice and it's probably relatively quiet compared to some older generation turboprop aircraft, but you definitely feel like the time is slowly going by relative to a jet aircraft when flying from Brisbane to Canberra. But after the ordeal of having to change aircrafts, fortunately we made it safe to Canberra and only about an hour and 25 minutes late, which all things considered was not too bad. Luckily my baggage was quickly awaiting for me on the carousel on arrival, and I was able to make my engagement just only 15 minutes late from my originating arrival time, which was good, and the event went ahead as scheduled and on time. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to watch the return flight in QantasLink on the Boeing 717-200. Thanks for flying.